Well, someone that won't be taking part in the RFU Secret Santa, Eddie Jones. He's gone, boys.
Oh, why are you being horrible?
He still might be, though. You don't know that he's not taking part in Secret Santa.
Nah, they've cut him. He's out of the WhatsApp group. There's no chance.
Andy Rowe, you're horrible. Well, for our listeners, obviously we recorded this podcast last Monday and we had Mike Brown on. We discussed what everyone felt should happen, what everyone thought would happen. And it happened, didn't it? Eddie Jones got the boot on Tuesday morning. I was laying me sunbed in Dubai, by the beach, with the belly out, with a beer in my hand, and I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think it's 18 months too late, and now I think it's, part of me is like, is it too close to the World Cup? Because...
Oh, God.
Goody, you pushed him out.
I didn't push him out. I listen, it was, I've been one for holding him to account and everything like that. I'm not saying he should still be in the job. What I am saying is the RFU have talked about their succession planning and all this stuff. Wales sacked Pivac the same day Eddie Jones gets sacked. They've got Gatland in before Pivac's even gone out the door. What are the RFU doing? They're still negotiating, trying to get Steve Borthwick out of a contract at Leicester and some of his coaches. And they talk about, we've had this succession plan, but we've just accelerated it. Well, I'm not too sure about the RFU's stance on it, because I think there's a lot of mixed messages coming out of the RFU with what they've done. They've obviously gone to Leicester. I know there's negotiations going on trying to get Steve Borthwick out of the contract, but as Jim Hamilton said last week, Bill Sweeney was told on TV that he's been sleeping for 2 years. Worcester and Wasps went bust, right? And now what you're trying to do is take your coaching team out of the champions. So Steve Borthwick, probably Kevin Sinfield, potentially Aled Walters as well, as part of his coaching group. Who knows who else is there? Richard Wigglesworth's there. There's other coaches, Brett Deacon. He may want to take other coaches, including the ones I've spoken about, if that is the case. Now, you're looking at a club like Leicester who, let's not forget, they've lost 2 home games because Worcester and Wasps have gone bust. So that's a massive financial hit. And then you're taking out, or trying to take out, their coaching staff. What's the knock-on effect of that to Leicester? Well, a lot of disruption. You've got to find another coach mid-season who's going to take over. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, how much is that worth? So Leicester are probably digging their heels in for a big financial package for it, and rightly so, because Steve Borthwick is contracted, I believe, for another 18 months at the club. So in reality, I wanted Razor. The RFU are clearly going after Steve Borthwick. And to me, is it much of the same? Eddie Jones was and is Steve Borthwick's mentor. He always has been. Are we just going to see the same kind of tactics? And watching Leicester play, they've been very successful last year, winning the league, but attacking rugby, I did their game yesterday against Ospreys, and apart from an absolute individual bit of brilliance by Anthony Watson, it was a dour game. So that's why I'm thinking Scotty Robertson. But as we said last week, the NZRFU probably aren't going to let him go, so the succession planning of the RFU is to go after Steve Borthwick, which they were going to go after at the end of the season anyway. So it leaves Leicester in a hole. Mid-season, if he leaves, you've got to pay up, boys. It's going to cost a lot of money from the RFU to come to an agreement, and that's why it's taken so long. And in the interim, Richard Cockrell is the head of men's rugby, isn't he, James?
I saw Cockrell's today, actually. He gave me a thumbs up. Weirdly, he had a hashtag Always Edinburgh beanie on, which is a little bit controversial. He didn't. But on that point, Goody, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't think Eddie should have gone now. Look at us flip-flopping. But now he's gone, and you're watching everything else unravel. You're leaving the champions, like you've said, without a head coach, without Sir Kevin Sinfield. So not only is that void left with the champions, the RFU, Bill Sweeney's been asleep for 2 years, and in that time, they've not made any money, yet they're talking of paying £500,000 is what I'm hearing Leicester want. Where are they going to get that money from? That money could be money that could have been put back into the game. You've paid Eddie Jones out as well. Where's the fucking money? We're talking about a game that's on its knees, on its arse. He's been in a sleeping bag the whole time. So the timing doesn't feel right. I listened to James Haskell's comments. He was absolutely fuming. He was spitting at the camera on Sky Sports. But you made a great point, a 90% win record at the World Cup. I'm not saying that Eddie Jones shouldn't have gone. I feel like he should have gone before. But also they should have the right guy. They're panic buying, which will be me on Christmas Eve buying Beck's presents. They're panic buying a coach, Steve Borthwick, because that's who they thought they should have had 2 years ago in terms of the succession. And I agree with you. And I'm happy to say it, and I said it last week, and having sat on it and slept on it, not with Bill Sweeney, but I would sleep next to him just to see what he smells like and if he definitely snores. He's definitely got sleep apnea, I'm telling you now.
He's been asleep for 2 years, mate. He's been asleep for 2 years, you said.
I know he has, yeah, but he's definitely got sleep apnea. I could just tell by looking at him. I don't want to be too horrible, #be kind and all that. We're only joking, Bill. But Steve Borthwick, it feels like, isn't the right man. It feels like he is the guy that was earmarked 2 years ago, and they've gone with it. So if not him, then who? I suppose that is the question, isn't it? You've got Ronan O'Gara, we know, we're going over old ground here, but just for the listeners that didn't tune in last week, re-signed at La Rochelle. Rob Baxter signed at Exeter. Could they looked at Mark McCall? Could they have done a U-turn on Lancaster? No chance. So there's not many out there, is there? If the New Zealand Rugby Union won't let Scotty Robertson go, maybe they shouldn't have got rid of Eddie Jones and they should have just taken him to the World Cup and then looked at the lay of the land there, where clearly coaches would have got sacked if they hadn't got where they needed to get to. So messy.
Wayne Smith.
All right, Andy Rowe. God, mate, I'm mates with Wayne Smith. He's about 105.
I mean, to be fair, Wayne Smith would be brilliant in terms of his knowledge and what he's achieved.
Coach at Northampton.
But surely, is he not contracted to the NZRFU because he was the Black Ferns coach?
I don't know that he is. I know he was brought in to save the Black Ferns and head up the attack on the World Cup, but that was where it would finish. So I don't know that he is contracted anymore.
Oh,
Andy Rowe, what he's saying is that he knows more about the Black Ferns and Wayne Smith than he does about even who the England rugby captain is. And Andy Rowe, here's one. Who's the Scotland rugby captain? Oh, God, he doesn't even know. It should be. So you know more about...
It's that blindside
Wayne
flanker
Smith.
guy with the shit here.
What's his name? Hamish Watson.
No, not
Stuart
Hamish.
Hogg.
Not Hamish Watson.
No. Finn Russell.
You even texted it to me the other day.
Exactly, that's the issue, Andy Rowe, that you are all over New Zealand rugby. So, and we love you for that sometimes.
Shall I give you some clues?
Go on.
Lockstock.
Poor. So he said Lockstock. I'm giving you another clue. Poor.
No.
He's not poor. He's not poor. If he's not poor...
Oh, Richie. What's his first name?
Richie what?
Richie Mwanga. He just said it, look, Richie Mwanga.
Richie McCall.
Whoa, you're confusing me. Richie Gray.
No.
No.
Word with yourself. Go
Mate,
away.
he was unbelievable at the weekend. He played unbelievable for #always Edinburgh.
Richie. Can you give me another clue for the last name?
For the last name, here we go. He doesn't even know. His last name is Richie. There's the clue.
His first name's John Andy Rowe.
What, John Ritchie? No.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Just leave it at that.
Pod. Rugby pod.